Hello and welcome to my channel on human design. Well, we have a non-sacral episode and I think you're going to find it very interesting. We're going to start off with a question from the Manifestor, Sheena. This is her question. I have a completely open emotional center, white, no gates. I have only the 12 in red reaching for the 22 that I don't have. I'm very easily triggered emotionally. Is this the reason for my hot reactions? Thanks, Richard. Hi, Sheena. Thank you for the question. Okay, so we could look for reasons, and there are many ways. I'm going to give you an example now, but let me just say that, trying to get the answer to yourself through human design, it's not as simple as that. It's not as simple as that. So yes, the 12th gate, certainly looking to the open solar plex, is part of the story, but it's not the whole story. And to show you what I mean, thank you for sending your chart. Let's have a look. The first thing to note is that you are a manifester. Okay, so the theme with the manifestor is you do not want to be controlled by anyone. And anyone trying to control you, you're going to get angry. I mean, it could be anything, even someone touching you when you didn't allow them to, or push you in a queue or whatever it may be. It'll be like, immediately there'll be a reaction. So the manifestor doesn't want to be controlled. And if we add to that the fact that you are a 6-2 profile and the second line likes to live in their own bubble, doing their own thing, you don't want to be imposed upon by people. You want them to leave you alone. And when we look at your chart, it's mainly a right fixed chart. So the body is passive. The body is here to witness. The body is here to observe. And you don't know what you know until someone asks you a question and out it comes because of the receptive nature of the black arrows on your chart. So there can be a reaction if someone, comes in quickly and wants something from you or speaks to you in a way that is not respectful. This is also going to bring in anger. Especially if we take into account the 52nd gate in your earth, in the personality earth. Now remember, the sun and the earth are the main frameworks for the entire chart. 70% of the program comes through those two forces. All right. So the 52 is about being still. It is a passive pressure to not to do something, and you've got that in an open route. So there's this sense of you where you can sometimes feel you're a bit lazy and maybe you should do something. But, no one's going to tell you what to do. After all, you're the fixed will. You're the fixed will. How dare you tell me what I'm here to do? I am the cross of demands. Yeah, that's not going to work. But think about it. It's a peacefulness. It's a line of peacefulness. So it's really about you being in your own tranquil bubble. And again, interference is a form of control in that sense. To take that further, if we go to the design part of your earth, we find the 21-2. This is mighty's right. Okay, it's full on will control. It's unconscious in you. And it's like the severest action will be the most successful. The legitimate rejection of interference on the material plane. And you're a material being. I mean, you've got the money line. So again, that is unconsciously going to come out. That force, that willpower that will control anyone that's coming out, That's going to bring a lot of anger. The severest action is the most successful. And you have an environment of wide valleys. You need space around you. You need the big open skies. Again, people invading your space. The tribal aspect of us is very aware of the boundaries, to be vigilant around the edges. And so someone coming into your space, with an agenda as a second line being, It's like, what the hell? How dare you? Again, how dare you? So when we come to the money line itself, which is the full channel that you have, this is the Prime Minister and the Queen. Okay, this is the way I look at it. The Queen being the 45. So a one woman show, basically. And you have to be material in this world according to what you can control and according to who is going to listen to you. You're going to be out there on your own material plane and you don't want any interference. So there are many reasons why you will react when someone invades your space, tries to control you, tries to get you moving, whatever it may be. And bear in mind, manifestors, generally speaking, they don't want to work. I have yet to see a fixed will that wants to work, with the exception of the 4037. They will work for love. I've seen them work very hard. Amazing, amazing what they can do. But here in the money line, no, you're here to sit on the board and get the people to do what they need to do, to delegate to others. So again, they should follow your commands. Anyone that doesn't, there's going to be a reaction. One of the main things to consider about your chart is the need for respect. If people don't respect you, then you're going to turn your back on them. The 52:6, the sixth line looks to the next hexagram. The next hexagram is the 39, the provocation. In line one is basically to walk out of the door, to turn your back on them and go, I'm not dealing with you. You have no respect. Now, having said that, we now get to the 12th gate looking to the open solar plex. Bear in mind the solar plex, you are vulnerable there. You don't know how you feel. You amplify the emotional field of people around you. And yes, of course, if someone is angry around you or upset around you, you're going to magnify that. And as a manifestor, it might put you into action. It might put you into reaction. This is the value of human design, in that you witness yourself through the information, which is what I'm trying to show you. So it's rather than just to find a reason, see the whole picture. See the whole picture. See that the 48th gate there is like an over-amplified fear of inadequacy. Do I have the depth necessary, especially as a second line? Do I have the depth necessary in order to implement something that's going to be good for everyone? But again, it's going to be an over-amplified fear, as is the fear of failure. And in the material world, if you fail, you're in trouble. Life gets more difficult. So let's come back to the solar plex. Here you have a 12th gate, a voice of articulation, very beautiful voice to be able to succinctly put things in a graceful way, if you're feeling graceful, or a disgraceful way if you're not. But you're looking to the 22. And you're looking to the line of sensitivity, ideally, the 22 line 4. And this is a line that deals with the openness, the feeling to be open, that can sometimes, not get involved with formality and just sidestep it because they're friendly or you want to be friendly. And the other side is to demand formality. There are certain things in social society where a certain amount of formality leads to a greater openness. It provides, if you like, an environment, and sometimes an extended environment, where people can become more sensitive to what's going on with them because of the formality on the outside. So there is value in that. Now, sometimes it's going to be formal, sometimes it's not. The main thing is it is a very strong gate. It's a powerful gate. The full channel is the channel of passion, there to open people up. So it's part of you when you react to someone coming in with the emotional field, especially if they have the 22. You're going to want to open up. You're going to want to do something. You're going to want to say something, but it's unconscious. So all I can say to you is, and I could go on, you can go on. You can, the 62 wanting to argue with the 17's opinions. You can go on and look at different areas in the chart. The main thing is to understand that you as a manifestor living in your own way. You're on a long-term path towards integrity. You being you and you being in control of your life. And you being generous when people are loyal and you being very loving to them. All that is possible. But the main thing is you're here to live your life. It's about the life. It's about the life of freedom for a manifestor, to be free. That primarily is the thing. Anything that's going to impinge upon you, and yes, emotional energy can certainly be very demanding in terms of the depths of their upset that can come in, and that, as I said, you can be vulnerable. You can react to that. You can want to close off from that, and when they don't go away, then you snap. So yes. And finally, the cross itself is the cross of demands. You're here to say, well, look, I can help your life, but I want this and I want that, and I'm going to make my demands. And if you don't give them to me, then I'm not going to play with you. That's it. So there you go, Sheena. That's a kind of a rounded dipping into different parts of the chart to just open it up for you, and hopefully the viewers as well, to say, well, look, just look and see what's in the chart. Don't tie it to just the first thing that you think about. It goes on and on and on. All right. Thank you for the question. All right. So our next question is from a projector, Kazia. This is her question. Hello, Richard. Really helpful. As always, thank you for the beautiful work that you do. I'm a projector with a completely open sacral, no hanging gates except gate 20. And indeed, I feel energized with MG types. Now, that was really a comment rather than a question, Kazia, but I wanted to come back to you on it. Because projectors, the quality of the life of the projector will depend on who is in their life. And the 20th gate is looking to the 34. You're looking to the power. You're looking to the raw power. You're looking to the sacral life force energy. And in a way, all non-sacrals are looking for that energy because it's warm and fuzzy and it's more energizing to be around it. But in your case, it's also looking to the 57. It's also looking to the 10. So it's looking for penetrating awareness in the now and the clarity of intuition. And it's looking to be able to behave in your own individual way. So there is this, the 20th gate is quite a complicated gate. It is a gate of existential expression. And so to be able to speak with power, to be able to be around manifesting generators where your individual voice can be heard, is also something that is a great joy to you. And I came back to you really to say, look, projectors, be careful around manifesting generators. Yes, they're very powerful, and at the same time, you can get very exhausted if you're trying to keep up with them. So your connections with manifesting generators will work providing you understand that at an energetic level, you're going to need more rest. And you're going to need to go to bed earlier than them because they need to use all of their energy every day. And you need to kind of go to bed when you're feeling tired and take longer to recover. So just a warning, be careful around MGs. They can be a lot of fun, of course. They can be great to be around, but you don't know when enough is enough. And that is a dangerous thing if it continues, because it'll take you out of your normal way of operating. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. Hope that was useful. Now, for our final question, we go to CLH-123 with a question on enlightenment. This is another projector question. I have a sort of general question. I recently heard a tape of Ra where he discussed that projectors are not here to become enlightened, only generators are. Being a projector who has wanted enlightenment since I was 23 and first heard of it, I'm now 75, this was a big blow. Very discouraging to hear that it's not possible or even desirable for my type. Ra seems to emphasize correctness within type overall, yet he comes across, well, sort of enlightened in a way, or at least a man who knew himself very well. or was he just articulate and charismatic? Is there a way that correctness itself is a sort of enlightenment? Did Ra actually ever define enlightenment? Would you please comment on this? What a juicy question, CLH. What a juicy question. And you're not the only one. I mean, in my teenage years or late teenage years, I also was seeking enlightenment. It took me all over the world into all kinds of spiritual practices and experiences. So I found it quite a journey seeking enlightenment. However, let us look at the facts. I'm not here to speak on behalf of Ra. I can just say to you, let's see where the word enlightenment is mentioned. So let's go to the source. Let's go to the Revi Ching. And there we find enlightenment is mentioned just twice. It's mentioned in the Gate of Fixed Rhythms in Gate 5. Also, it's the hexagram of waiting. And there in the fifth line, we see in the line of joy. Waiting as an aspect of enlightenment. To remain calm as the ultimate aesthetic and thus recognize the inner meaning of being. The power to be calm and to find one's place in the flow. So I'll stay with the exaltation there. The nature of being was what he was referring to, the nature of being. And it's an energy gate. Okay, it's a life force. It's a life force that taps into the rhythm of life, if you like. You know, it has its own dance. Its own dance comes out of it when it moves. So let's bear that in mind, and then let's look again at the second time that he mentions it is in the 54-4, the most mystical of all lines. And here in the gate of ambition, we have this pressure, this drive to succeed, this drive to not fail. And in this particular line, you may not even notice that you have it. It's in the channel of transformation, where the life can be transformed. In this line, it is full of potential, whether that potential is fulfilled or not. So if we put the two things together, and we can add to it the fact that Ra talked about generators as being the holy beings. He said that we were blessed with the life force. So think about it. What's he trying to say? He's trying to say, look, generators, for heaven's sake, just, follow your response. Let the life force come through you. Don't make decisions through the mind. Let the power within you move. Let that be how you make your decisions. It's about being a witness. It's about stepping back, to be able to let the life force live. And in that sense, the generators have got the power and have got the life force to be able to witness that, to be able to be calm as the energy is moving, not knowing necessarily what you are actually going to do, but the life force itself sorts it out if you step back. So from that perspective, I can say, well, look, if you've got an open sacral, you're not going to be able to do that because it's not your energy to be able to let that go in you. You're amplifying the energies of others. The other thing he talked about in enlightenment is that enlightenment is full of light. It's full of light. And he talked about, well, if you become aware, if you become conscious that you are a pattern living in a program, if you're correct in the way that you move in this life as the pattern that you are, then you get this experience of being able to be in the life, to let the life animate you, if I put it that way. So from Ra's perspective, it was about being awake. Rather than being full of light, be awake. Be correct, be awake to what's going on, be awake to the fact that you are a particular unique pattern within a larger program. Being awake to that, getting out of your own way, experiencing the life at a different level. So personally, when I think about enlightenment, and like you, I've known so many people that have been chasing it their entire lives and still not managing to get that goal, you know. But it's a goal. It's a goal to be enlightened and full of light and all the magnificence and beauty that can come with that, that we can imagine and we can see in some of the ancient scriptures, you know, to be one with God. Sometimes it's also described. But I want to, at a personal level, put it in another way. You know, the experiences that I've had that could be regarded as enlightened satoris, or you know, even going into extended higher states. The thing that is in common with all of them is this connection with what's around us, this interconnection with something that is beyond the body. You know, the ability to be able to be aware of things you wouldn't normally be aware of in the normal way of living. And in my view, this is something that continues. You know, if you can let go in your decision making, if you can just be yourself, there is this more available energy and more available awareness to be able to be in touch with what is around us. You know, human beings live in a very limited way compared to their incredible potential seen in the 54-4. And a lot of the teachings and a lot of the things that would be helpful for them have been thrown in the trash can, you know, as we're moving rapidly into another goal, you know, the goal of immortality now, you know, with robots and AI and chips and all the rest of it. You know, it's goals, it's goals. You know, we're basically receptive. And the more receptive you are, the more you can be in touch with some of the higher forms of awareness that are possible. It's not only healing, it's something that sets you right, resets the clock. But this is a matter of your own authority taking you down those roads that can open you up to that kind of thing. So I don't see that from that perspective that the non-sacrals are excluded from enlightenment. You know, and I don't think it's a goal you achieve in this life, no matter the PR around it. I mean, look at all the gurus that are supposed to be gurus that end up, you know, it's some kind of scam at some level or another. But they have, some of them have special abilities. That is certainly possible, and that's possible for everyone in different ways. But I see it as a journey. I see life as a journey, and an opening up at different levels through different decades, rather than, you know, you'll get enlightened and shine out the light forevermore. No. I mean, it may be as a projector that there's an energy that comes in through an alignment of the transit in a particular place or whatever it may be, where you suddenly shift gears, you shift states, you get to realize things you didn't realize before. This is all possible. I see no reason why it should be impossible. And yes, correctness does lead to being able to be in touch with more of what we are able to be in touch with. Ra didn't describe himself as a spiritual or religious person. If he was anything, he would be connected more to the Taoist way. He often quoted with a wry smile, you know, before enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. And it shows this ability to really be in your life, to live your life, not to chase enlightenment, not to chase anything. You know, the decisions are made from something that is beneath the chasing, beneath the mind. To see the miracles that just happen in everyday life, in normal everyday life. It is so full of so many wonderful things that happen out of the blue that you couldn't possibly guess. There is this ongoing magic that takes place in the world. but you're still chopping wood and carrying water. I mean, we're incarnated in a body. We're not here to lift off out of the body and ascend into some bright light. You know, this is the propaganda of the light field in the dream rave. You know, this dream to be able to leave it all behind. Well, you know, we've come to be incarnated, to be in the body, to be in the life, but to be a witness in the life, to experience the life without getting in the way, without any huge claims of this and that. So now when we look at the fifth gate and the fifth line in the joy, you can see it as the life force, you know, living its life, and all these incredible things happen. All these meetings with people and non-humans and whatever is around you. You know, it's really a matter of human beings being able to, in my view, to be able to get back to more of the sensitivity that is innately in us on a multidimensional level. And that doesn't exclude non-sacrals. You just got to understand when enough is enough, you know, and you can ride the energy. You can ride the energy. So I just thought that might be a useful thought for you as well. So that's my position, and I hope that's been helpful to you. And I hope this episode has been helpful to the viewers. And if so, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll be back again very soon with something completely different. Bye for now.